I'm excited for this one, guys. We got our hands on the brand new Injora 370 brushed motor kit for the Traxxas TRX4M. We're going to open this thing up. We're going to check out the motor. We're going to install it on a build. We're actually going to put it in an old creamsicle here. We're going to see how this thing does. This is an awesome kit. Comes with the transmitter, 2-in-1 ESC, motor, transmission, and a skid plate for 46 bucks. Huge value here. But before we get into this thing, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all things mini crawler related. Now, let's not waste any time. Let's open this thing up and check out the kit. Let's see what we got. We got our instruction manual here. Here's our 2-in-1 ESC and receiver combo. I'm going to open this thing up. We got some double-sided sticky tape here to stick this thing down. So you're going to get rid of your stock Traxxas ESC and receiver combo and replace it with this. You're also going to get rid of your battery because this is set up to run a 2S LiPo battery with either a JST or a PH 2.0 connector. So it looks like the JST is the default, but they give you this adapter if you wanted to run something like an SCX24 battery in it. Here's our radio. So this is a 2.4 gigahertz 3-channel setup. Compact, feels good in the hand. This is going to be much easier to do one-handed driving than the stock Traxxas transmitter. We've got our steering and throttle adjustments here. You're able to reverse the channels at the top. One thing that's cool about this transmitter and the electronics combo here that I'm really excited to try out is that it has a 3-speed throttle setting. So up at the top here we've got this slider button. We can toggle between 3 settings. So I'm really anxious to see what exactly those settings do and how they impact performance. And I mentioned this is a 3-channel setup, so this SW1 right here, this is what we're going to set up for our 3rd channel, primarily to control our lights, I believe. So this does have some multi-functionality. You can press it, and then you can do a long press, I believe, and that's what operates your functionality with your lights. Hidden underneath here is the real meat and potatoes of this kit. Let's check out the motor transmission combo here. So Injora does say that this fits a stock skid plate, but they do supply you with one as well. This is a plastic skid plate. I'd have to compare the stock one. This looks a little deeper than the stock one, which would make sense to fit this big motor combo in here. So my first attempt is going to be to fit the stock skid plate just for the heck of it, and then if I have to use this, I know I have it as an option. Here's our motor and transmission combo. So the motor comes mounted up to the transmission, pre-assembled. It's big in diameter, but not big as far as length goes. So overall dimensions are smaller than what I was expecting. This is a 70-turn motor, so it's going to be a lower turn than the stock motor. Significantly bigger size overall. Transmission itself, now this does utilize bearings throughout. It does have nylon gears. I understand that the motor has a metal pinion gear, but you've got nylon gears throughout the transmission. I'm really excited to try this thing out, so why don't we get the old motor out of creamsicle here. So we're going to take the current brush motor out and the transmission, and we're going to throw in the 370, wire all this up, and see how it goes. So I'm going to start disassembling this, and then we'll throw the new motor combo in. So from what I can tell, this motor is front facing as well. Let's see if it'll fit in here. Oh, I don't think so. So I thought that the skid plate was a little deeper, but I guess not. Looking at this, it looks to be about the same as stock. Maybe I think the drop-in area is bigger overall. Let's see if this fits. It does still fit. Okay. I'm running the Injora coreless servo on this and a lay-down servo mount. So thankfully it still clears, although barely. If you can see that. It's tight in there, but looks like we got room. This is going to work. It's near perfect fit on there, just like the stock unit. looking really good. For batteries, I'm going to run these 450 milliamp Ergenix batteries. These have the JST and the PH 2.0 connector on them. So I think rather than having an extra wire, I'm just going to run the JST. So the channels aren't labeled on the receiver here, so it goes vertically. So it's channel 1, 2, and 3, with 1 being the closest to the front. It's like my Traxxas lights. I don't know if they're going to fit because it has the slotted connector. I don't think these are going to work. All right, MOT, moment of truth. Let's fire this thing up. Super easy install. Let's see if it carries through here. Power. My lights on. I got steering. Not sure what the voltage output is on this ESC receiver combo, but steering isn't super fast. I know this servo is capable of being fast, but... Alright, here we go. Oh. Wow! Had to switch camera spots here so I have some more room to try this thing out. Let me put the body on. Okay, now let's get into this thing. Very snappy. It's slow in reverse, which is nice, so it doesn't get away from you in reverse. You know, very controlled there, but if you whack the throttle, it goes. Drag brake is kind of, there's some freewheel there. See if there's a way to adjust the drag brake. I wonder if that's in the throttle settings. So let's try toggling through our throttle here. I'm in mode 3 right now. Let's try number 2. Don't notice a huge difference there. Look at the slow crawl. Man, this thing is punchy and it's so smooth and controlled. That's max throttle in reverse, so it does go really slow in reverse. So just took a quick glance at the owner's manual. So the third setting, so that we were just in, is fast. So if you want speed, number 3 is speed, and then number 2 in the middle is mid-range that we were just trying out, and then first gear logically is slow. Let's see, it's about as slow as I can get it right there, which is impressive. It is, man, it's glacially slow in reverse though. I wonder if there's a way to speed that up. A little bit of a hitch off the bottom, but once it's engaged, it's very slow, very smooth. Very quiet. Doesn't make hardly any noise. The thing I'm noticing that is that it feels like it's default to throttle, brake, reverse. So if you wanted to make quick switches from forward to reverse, I don't know if there's a way to toggle that on this, but that's how it's set up from the factory, it seems. Boy, this is cool. What a cool setup. I am very impressed. I mean, probably a 10-minute installation, totally functional. I love the 3-speed throttle setting. Nice feel in the hand with the transmitter. Motor feels very strong, so this is super cool. What I want to do now is I want to get some speed runs with this thing. Give you some benchmark speed runs. We're going to compare it to, I'm to see what I got for TRX4Ms with stock gears. But I'll find something to give you some speed comparisons with, and then we'll get it on the track and we'll see what we can get for crawling performance out of it. So let's get this thing in action. Here we are for our first speed run here. So I have my son's TRX4M High Trail over here. With stock gears, it's running the 90 turn PN Racing motor in it. So very similar to the stock setup here. And the Injora 370 in Creamsicle, we're going to run it in first gear throttle setting. So this is the slow setting. Let's see how they do. All right, run number 2. Now we're going to try the mid-level throttle range on the Creamsicle setup here. So here we go. Closer on that one. All right, now let's try the high speed setting on the 370. Here we go. I didn't notice much difference. Almost think high speed was slower. Okay, so we've established that it's pretty close to the same speed as stock as far as top speed and wheel speed goes. Let's see how it crawls on the course. Now I've put this into first throttle setting, into the low setting. Let's see how it does. It feels about like the crawler gears do with the brush motor. It's very smooth, very torquey off the bottom. That reverse is going to be an issue. It's like I feel like I'm stuck here. I don't seem to have hardly any power in reverse. I had to kick it up into mid-range to get my reverse function to work. I'll try to slide it back down into first to get my crawling again. Not sure how I feel about that. The system is silent. The thing makes no noise. A little bit of noise from the motor, but nothing from the electronics. Wow, so much wheel speed. So I think I figured out what's going on with the reverse. So when I reverse the direction on the top here, if I go this way, I've got great reverse speed because I've got full range of the trigger. But again, if I try to go forward, I have next to nothing. See that? If I reverse it again, now I've got good forward, but no reverse. So it seems like the limiting factor is the trigger on the transmitter. So the reverse function is going to be tricky, but I'm going to try to make this work. I'm in mid-range here now, so if I do have to use the reverse, I've got the power. But it's awfully snappy in mid-range, as you just saw, trying to get up this canyon on the other side. Let's drop down into Mini Moab here. Let's see how old Creamsicle does on the challenge lines. It's been a minute since I've had Creamsicle out here. I'm in mid-range right now, like I said. Whoa! It's like my suspension geometry is all out of whack on Creamsicle here, so I might not be able to get this to happen. We'll see. I'm getting crazy front end lift. I'm losing the back end too, looping out backwards. So I might have to abandon the challenge lines. I'm impressed with the forward capability of this motor. It's got lots of power, and it's still very smooth and controlled. Back back down in low speed here, just trying to demonstrate the low speed control. Is that little, it's trying to get it to engage. There we go. Even in low speed, it's got plenty of power to bump out of these obstacles. All the power that you're going to need just in that one gear. Very smooth. I like it. Just got to get the transmitter sorted out so we have reverse. So I think what I'm going to do is take this outside and hit the rock course with it. See how it does in a more wide open setting. So I'm going to head outside and do that. Get some more footage for you, and then we'll wrap it up back here on the bench. Alright, trying the 370 motor setup outside here. I really want to like this kit. I really do, but man, I am struggling with the reverse and the lack of steering. My two really only complaints with this setup. Otherwise, I love the power, the smoothness, and the wheel speed, and the torque. Yeah, it's a great motor. I just feel hamstrung by the controls.
Daddy, wanna watch me mud? Oh, it's still raining. So it actually stopped raining. So it actually. Come on. Mom, you're not doing it. That you're not doing what you told me you were.
So I'm fresh back from RC Excitement in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, where I got to put some good time on the Traxxas TRX4M with the 370 kit in it. While I do think there's a lot of positives here, there's also some drawbacks. So let's start with the pros of this setup. Installation is super easy, just drop in and go. The motor is already attached to the transmission, it's all complete, fits into the stock skid plate no problem, just a really simple bolt-on. The electronics, the ESC and receiver combo, fits perfectly on the chassis, so the whole system comes together really easy and it's super simple to install. About 10 or 15 minutes you can have this thing totally up and running. The power curve of the 370 is great. It's got lots of smooth, torquey grunt down low, but still lots of wheel speed and lots of punch throughout the whole power band. The 3 throttle settings on the transmitter is a really neat feature. The low speed is really low and offers great crawling ability, and in the higher speeds you get about the equivalent of stock wheel speed out of it. So it's like having the Pro motor from Injora with the low speed crawling ability with the crawler gears almost, but you also maintain the stock wheel speed, which is pretty quick. And the price, $46 for the whole setup. There's a lot of bang for the buck here with the 3-channel transmitter, the ESC and receiver combo, motor and transmission, and a skid plate, all for that price. Injora has priced this thing to sell. Let's talk about some of the drawbacks now. So the biggest complaint I have about this isn't even about the motor or the setup itself, it's just the transmitter. That reverse function where the trigger is grounding out against the body of the transmitter. I have not found a way around that. I'm wondering if I just Dremel a hole in the body of this thing so that I have an area for that trigger to kind of recess into so I could have full reverse, that would be a huge improvement, because it's very frustrating as it is right now, having little to no reverse, especially in the lowest throttle settings when you want to take advantage of that crawling ability, having zero reverse. I also feel like the electronics are underpowered, and that leads to sluggish steering. It has a pretty powerful servo on it, and I just really wasn't able to capitalize on the power of this servo, and I often found it really struggling to turn the wheels in tight situations, not even anything really aggressive. It was just really struggling. And I also found it kind of binding up, and the lights would start to flicker and dim out. So I was getting some brownout issues with the electronics. I feel like the whole system is just underpowered and needs a little bit more juice to really run this thing. But overall, I do still like it. I do have to be fully transparent and say that I missed my previous setup. The 48 turn brushed Pro motor and the stock transmission and the electronics, I feel like was a superior system, just being fully transparent with you guys. It'll probably be a different story if I can get the electronics sorted out with this thing. There's a lot of potential here. We just got to unlock it. But let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of the 370 motor kit? I'll put the link in the description if you want to check this out. And remember, you can use my discount code and save 5% on all things at Injora.com. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next video.